Welcome back to Top Shelf Disney Animation Studios Library, the podcast where we decided, apparently, to watch all the Disney Animated Studios library films, starting from Snow White and moving all the way up to Moana. Again, I'm just stealing everything TC is saying, because I'm pretty certain after this point, my only comment is going to be a grunt.
We'll see.
And TC is just going to talk for the rest of the podcast. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff, and then hello, TC. Welcome back again for another episode.
Here we are. Yeah, I've actually deleted my first line of notes, which is telling everybody that what we're watching. Or
oh,
at least
fantastic!
The library we're watching of Snow White to Moana, which you've handled.
I'm so glad
Jeff,
that I was able to remove a line from your 28 pages worth of notes for this week's episode.
I do have quite a bit of notes on this, thanks to our listeners, which up front, thank you guys for you. We're overwhelmed with questions and comments this week.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a lot of people had their opinions they wanted to get out this week, which is awesome.
Yeah, I want to be surprised that there's such strong feelings about this movie, but I'm not surprised. It is the general climate of movie watching now, and it has been for the past several years, which is a movie's either the best or the worst, and you cannot play the middle. And if you play the middle, you're wrong. Whatever. But this movie we watched is easily one of the most significant pop cultural touchstones in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. Just from a point of view of the impact it had on the world, not in a, maybe not necessarily in a, wow, that really changed the way we think about films, but just the way it impacted the world that we know, basically.
Well, for those people who may have clicked on this without reading the title, what did we watch this week?
First off, how dare you people? I cannot believe you are just so willy-nilly with your podcast listening. Number two.
Number two, thank you for listening. Yeah.
yes, please don't turn off. Please stay. Yeah. Don't leave. We like you. Despite the crap that I say. But number two, we watched, or I guess number three now at this point, we watched number 53 on our list, which is 2013's Frozen.
Frozen, yes. Named as such to prevent people from Googling Walt Disney and Frozen and getting so many hits about him being cryogenically frozen in stasis, which is why that's the only reason that they named the movie Frozen, because it certainly doesn't have layers of subtext to that title. It's all about trying to just cover up that conspiracy theory, which is obviously true. And
and with that, we're done, folks. So that was all for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. TC, we're thinking no.
Frozen. We've watched Frozen.
So okay. I just want to right off the bat, right at the start of this episode, because I do know, as TC kind of already made a comment, and I know everybody who's listening to it, or this episode, anybody who commented on, anybody I've talked to in real life, too, whenever I've told them that, we're going to do Frozen, you kind of get, from the majority of the people, you get the same general response, which is just, it's a terrible movie, this is stupid, I hate that thing, why are you watching it? That sort of response.
Yeah, generally.
Because it does seem to get a lot of hatred. The movie does.
It does. Honestly, it's funny because I said it's either the best or the worst, just commenting on how people critique films nowadays. I feel like half the responses we got were a lot of ugh. But there are some massive fans of this movie. Several of our commenters love this movie. Some of the people that I've talked to over the week leading up to this, one person in particular, even bringing up the film brought her to tears, though she's a emotionally unstable person, so that might have something to do with it. But that's besides the point. But it's I understand that. I guess we could jump into this right here before we dig into kind of our feelings about it. One of the reasons this movie has such a significant reaction from people is because of the oversaturation of this film into the pop culture. There's when something is shoved in your face again and again and again, and you're told it's good, it's good. You're wrong. If you don't think it's good, you're wrong. Like, that is going to elicit a response of, "Don't tell me I'm wrong. You know what? You're wrong." That is just human nature, and. This movie was everywhere. everywhere. This movie's still everywhere. Girl, I can't tell you how many Elsa and Annas I saw dressed up for Halloween just this past November, October. When is Halloween?
Halloween falls every year in June.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
in the worlds that TC and I live in. So, which are again Earth 3 and 5. I'm pretty positive.
Right,
so
right.
it's a little different here.
Here, yeah. Let it go. If we can talk about that just for a moment,
Please do.
it's objectively a great song. It really is, and the fact that Idina Menzel is the one singing it makes it all the more powerful. If you have any sort of love for musical theater, knowing that that's the original Elphaba, knowing that that is the original Marine from Rent, like
From Rent,
she's she's legendary, and to make her the voice of Elsa, the Let It Go is such a that. The effect that song has when it came out and to this day is, I think, identical to "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston from the '90s, like, or Celine Dion's song from Titanic, the "My Heart Will Go On." The effect that song has on the emotional core of people is so insane. But that song was overplayed. Although if it was overplayed, you're just listening to the wrong radio stations, because you certainly weren't going to hear "Let It Go" unless you heard the metal version on any rock station.
Which I have heard some covers of that song, and I'm not going to lie, some of the covers are pretty dang good.
Oh yeah. Funnily enough, that song, one of the this is a tangent from the song itself. The key on it, if you drop the key, is perfect for like a low tenor voice. It's not like it's a powerful song. It's a belting song in the soprano range. But if you just drop it down, it's perfect for a dude to sing too. And I think that's another quality of the song that makes it so good to people, is that anyone can sing it if you can carry a tune.
Interesting. I never thought about doing that. Well, okay,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, not unfortunately, this is just Idina Menzel's vocal range is such a unique, range and just octave. It's like she sings in not in a weird key, but it's just her tone of voice. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they had to pitch it up to be within her range a little bit more, which is more of her modern day Elphaba, style, and less of Maureen.
We got this song for you. Let me. Okay, can you? Yeah, just raise it up. Yeah, a little more.
It's like,
yeah, a little
what?
more. What's the highest? I'm gonna go to the higher note. Let's go.
It's like, but what?
The hype on this movie was everywhere, right? And less of a commentary on Frozen itself, but Disney has perfected the art of appeal. Okay, they have teams of people who figure out every little thing that will sell a movie. Right? They don't think of it. They think of it strictly from a business sense. They don't think from an art sense. They have their little checklist of things that they expertly know will make all the money on the earth, which
Right.
they have. And this is, I know that's a very cynical way to look at how movies are made, but as we've said before, as many people have said before, making movies is a business, and no one has perfected that business more than Disney. I mean, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, these animated films are a product of a machine that is... there might not be a more well-oiled running of this machine in the history of Disney. I can't... Even the Renaissance did not achieve what this revival era has achieved in terms of marketing and money making.
Right.
I think it's because it's everywhere.
Because they definitely knew how to market it. They knew where to put it. They knew that they could throw it. It reminds me. I mean, again, this is what Disney is, and Mel Brooks made a really good gag of it back in the '80s and Spaceballs with Star Wars. But it's the whole merchandising is where the real money from the movie is made, and it's putting it on everything. There is literally if a thing exists, there's a Frozen version of it in some capacity. I am positive.
You used to be able to say that about Star Wars. If it exists, there's a Star Wars version of it.
Right.
now
now
it
it's
feels
Frozen.
like yes, there is. It's Frozen. Okay. Do I think that this movie cut corners because they knew how to appeal to 5-year-olds? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But once that machine is moving, then it is up to the creative people involved to find a way to inject artistry into the filmmaking, into this product. And that not just in Frozen, but just in the machine in general. We've seen this in varying degrees of success, right? Rogue One is a messy film, but damn it if it doesn't look good, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
Marvel, like Ant-Man. Ant-Man might be a rather bland film, but you can't say Paul Rudd and Mike Douglas and Michael Pena aren't completely invested in the performances, right? So yes, the machine wants this. How do you do that and also satisfy some sort of creativity? Pascal from Tangled was clearly a check mark on a box. Hey, give us a cute character that we can sell toys of.
Right.
But that box checked off. Then they turned him into the cutest possible thing they could. Did they do that with Olaf? Let's determine that later.
Yeah, and again, this movie definitely does not skimp on any of the traditional Disney. I don't want to say tropes. That's not the right term, but yeah, those check boxes, those check marks.
Check boxes.
Yep. Hey, what do we got? We've got a sympathetic hero. We have a villain who just wants to rule power. We have a funny, or we have the real romantic-esque character that the main character should fall in love with, but it doesn't necessarily right away.
Sidekick.
His animal sidekick. We've got a goofy character that is mostly there just for humor, and not really any other reason, but also to sell toys. We got the catchy quote-unquote showstopper song of the movie.
Yep.
It hits every single checkbox. And again, you could flat out argue that for 90% of the movies that we've watched, because like you said, it's Disney, and Disney kind of has a formula for what they know works, so they can make money off of this.
Right, and it's those checkboxes aside, right? Then though at this point in this conversation we do sound like we're being rather critical of the Disney production, right? So much more. I don't feel like Lasseter's hand is as readily visible in this as we'd seen in Wreck-It Ralph and Tangled,
right?
Or Bolt even.
Yeah,
it does not. This movie, part of that finding its voice situation, right? Like separating itself from Pixar. This movie doesn't feel like Pixar. This movie feels like Disney.
Yep.
But all that aside, it looks good. It's acted good. There's a lot of beautiful stuff in this movie, and let's discuss that now. So, Jeff, you've seen this before.
Yes. Guys, for the record, I have, and this is kind of what I was going back into, or this is kind of what I was leaning towards a little bit when I first started hey, look, I watched this with a clean eye, or I watched it with a new critical eye for this podcast. But, guys, I've seen this movie, okay? I have two young girl nieces, two nieces. I was gonna say girl nieces, but those are nieces. I have two nieces who were right at the correct age for this movie when it came out. I had one that was 3 years old, and I had another one that was 7. So it was just. Yep. And even to this day, my youngest niece still, she's got an Elsa dress. And she sings You Want to Build a Snowman. She sings Frozen. She knows all the moves to it. She's 5 years later, and she's still doing it.
If you have a little girl in your life in 2013 and even right now, you've seen this movie and you've probably seen it ad nauseum.
Yep.
And here's the thing: though your nieces, my nieces, the girls that I have in my life that love this movie, they check off a very important box in being a fan of this movie. They're a girl.
Yeah.
I don't mean that to be. I'm not trying to say that as a bad thing. I'm saying this movie is targeted very well towards sisters.
Right. Going back to way back when we originally discussed the fact that Disney kind of bounced back and forth between a movie being more for, girls, and maybe the next one to be more for boys, and then kind of bouncing back and forth. You could argue that last week's episode of Wreck-It Ralph could very well have been geared a little more towards guys, towards
certainly.
boys.
And next week
games
as well. Next week is superheroes, right?
Yeah.
So it's they still play that, they swing that pendulum between more targeted towards boys, more targeted towards girls. But Jeff, I'm curious, though you've seen this probably way too many times to talk about.
Yeah.
Did you see it in theaters?
I never saw it in theaters. I only ever saw it at home.
Interesting. Okay. I did see this in theaters, and
really?
I was more or less interested. I worked at a movie theater at the time, so I saw everything. But I was more or less interested in seeing this. I had already had a love for Princess and the Frog and Tangled, so I was into it. I can remember the advertisements for this were nice because they weren't showing clips from the movie. They just had little short bits with Olaf saying, "Oh, come see the movie," and Josh Gad doing the voice. But I can specifically remember a moment in the theater, sitting there, the first less than 10 minutes, thinking, "Wow, this is a musical." I couldn't at the time. Like, have they stopped singing for the first 10 minutes here? By the time, like, for the first time forever hit its bridge was when my mind went, wow, there's a lot of music in this. We had already heard 4 songs in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Yep.
That's incredible. And the song that I'm sure everyone forgets, which is the Beware the Frozen Heart opening number. Give it up. Oh, take it up. Here.
The whole like ice, right, like the ice block song in the beginning.
Yeah,
is that one. Yeah.
That's that one. Yeah. But it's there. I remember thinking in the theater, wow, there is a lot of music in this. But what were your feelings the first time you saw it? Well, I guess what were your feelings going into it now for watching this? Like, did you, we've been building up to this for some reason and reasons to be determined by others, I guess. This was the one movie that, I don't know, people were most anticipating us discussing. It seems, based on the fact that I have over 30 tweets and comments to dig through for this episode.
there was a lot of comments, and I kept reading every single comment that came through on the Facebook page. At least,
yeah.
I was reading those, and I was just amazed at how many people were in response and wanted to make their voice be heard and clear for this particular film.
But what were your feelings about going into watching this again?
So going into it, I mean, I had a lot of preconceived thoughts regarding the film. I have a very strong opinion about the movie itself prior to watching it for this view. So
right.
But I still did. I went into it going, no, I want to look at it again, as I said before, with an open eye, looking at it from, hey, this is the 53rd Disney movie in over a year, almost a year and a half that I've watched. I want to see it from that perspective. I want to see it in this, in the ever growing, Disney way or system or machine or whatever you want to refer to it as. But I wanted to see it from that point of view. I wanted to see, is this the logical step for the company? Was this the logical step for story, where the world was at the time? All that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to watch it as just at the same time I was trying to watch it as just somebody who wanted to watch a movie. And I was immediately taken back to my initial thoughts while watching the movie for the first time. Because again, obviously when I first saw this movie, I didn't know I was going to walk away from it with such a strong opinion. Like, why would I? I've seen bad movies in my day. I've seen really good movies in my day. And I've walked away from, watching films surprised that my opinion went one way or another. But I was immediately reminded of a lot of my original opinions about this film and a lot of my original thoughts. And it was a lot of, wait, why are they doing that? Wait, why isn't this what they're doing? Wait, this really is the villain song, and it was changed, so it's not the villain song. Wait, she should be the bad guy. Why is it's that? And it was all of that sort of thing, because as a lot of our listeners obviously know, you and I do tend to focus very heavily on story and plot, like the plot development and character arcs and like the growth of a particular character, and that's unfortunately it's hard for me to get out of that mindset, so I got stuck a lot on story, and a lot of the story bothers me.
You're not wrong. We do focus. We do tend our thoughts tend to lean first to script, to story, to the plotting of characters and how they're guided across the board. Absolutely. I know that's how I initially look at a film. Aside from just sitting back, soaking it in and enjoying it. Yeah, looking at it from structure is something that we look at. There's a misconception from some of our listeners that I don't like this movie. Maybe it's just how as we've built up to it, me saying to people, all right, strap in. You got to be an open mind about this. Maybe that came across with me
just
talking
for
to
the
myself.
record, everybody, TC does not hate this movie. I'm the one that hates this movie.
Well,
Please continue.
We're going to we'll find out where we land on these things. But
Yes.
when this movie came out, for my other podcast that I have, The Rewatchman, every year we do our top 10. In 2013, this was my number one movie of the year.
Really?
And it narrowly beat out another movie that year that was my number two, which has a very divisive opinion about it. I won't bring it up now unless you force me to, but another movie that I really, really, really like that other people really, really, really hate. So at the time in 2013, my 1-2 ended up being two movies that have gone on to be very, as I said, divisive. So going in, and I've seen this multiple times. I think I saw it twice in theaters, but I've watched it a few times once it was out on video. And sitting down for this, I was, much like you said, now that we've gone through this library in order, I had a different perception of it as I watched it. And I tried to set aside some of the preconceived notions I had about it and just attempt to see what other people are seeing in it. My opinion aside, trying to enjoy it, trying to nitpick it. And I had fun. So this is based on Hans Christian Andersen's The Snow Queen.
Right.
All right. I'm sure you're aware of that. We've gone back to the tradition of a Disney movie being based on previous material, specifically a fairy tale.
Right.
And by the way, I think it's super neat that we have a Hans, a Christoph, and an Anna. Hans Christian Andersen. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. A Han, a Christoph, a Sven, so that way you get your Han, Christoph, Sven.
Oh, I didn't even think of the
or
Sven. That's great.
Anna Sven,
Yeah.
I think is supposed to be the Anderson. Yeah.
That's great. I did not think of that.
Yep.
But I don't know.
I'm not going to lie. I did think that was pretty cool. Okay.
That is pretty cool. The Snow Queen is considered by scholars to be the best piece of literature written by Hans Christian Andersen. It's also his longest. This is one that literary critics look to and cite as, hey, this guy didn't just write parables and fairy tales. He could legitimately write real, proper, brilliant literature. And The Snow Queen is that. However, this is definitely Disneyfied based on the source material.
Now, I remember reading real quick, just not to interrupt you, but I remember reading real quick that this was a movie that had been in production, or they wanted to make it ever since, like, before Snow White.
Oh, this goes back to Walt's original. I think Walt Disney, when he sat down and conceptualized making feature film animated films, this was in his list of 10 or 5 or 10 movies. He's like, here's the ones we're going to try to make, and they could never, over the course of 75 years. That's how long this movie kept cycling around. Was, should we go back to this? Should we go back to this? And until the chemistry was right to craft what Frozen was, they could never crack the code of what this movie could be, right? When Walt was involved, he didn't want it to be like Cinderella. He didn't want it to be like Snow White. So then they couldn't find any way to do it without making it like the two. Then they did Sleeping Beauty and saw the fallacy of making it too much like their previous work. So then again, it went on the shelf. And this is something that has been on the Disney possibility list for a long, long time. But I recommend going to the Wikipedia and just reading the plot to The Snow Queen, because it is a much, much darker story, which is often the case for a lot of these movies. But and that's not a dig, because it's like Wicked. People know Wicked, the Broadway musical, but the book that Wicked is based on is
very different,
much darker.
Yes.
The sequel's called Son of the Witch, and it's a much darker take. So I am not faulting Disney for Disneyfying a dark story.
Because we've definitely discussed that like you said, they've done that before. They did that with Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid is a lot darker. Ariel dies at the end of that book.
Yeah.
Okay, guys? Like, it's a very different story.
Quick sidebar from the adaptation of something different to something. In Princess and the Frog, I think it was Wyatt said that Raymond was like the American Jiminy Cricket.
Yep.
Right? In the original Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket gets stepped on and killed. And
that's how. Right.
So sorry, just I wanted to throw that out there because it just struck me in talking about adaptation. So The Snow Queen is what Frozen is based on, and seriously, go check out the Wikipedia. Take you 2 minutes to read the plot synopsis and go, dang,
Very different.
That sounds like a late 90s, early 2000 Tim Burton movie, back when he made good movies.
Oh, I miss those days. Anyways.
Animation. This movie looks good.
The movie looks good.
Yeah.
It does. I'm not gonna lie. There are a few moments in it that it didn't look its best, but I do know this movie had a lot of like production changes and a lot of like, all right, no, we're going this way, we're changing this, we're redoing this. Once they heard the Let It Go song, they changed. They kind of rewrote the character of Elsa a little bit and shifted production towards making it a positive song and not as much of the villain. So I'm sure like maybe the little pieces that I had noted, which again, it's not off, it's not a lot. It's just like there's one or two spots where I'm like, oh, the lighting doesn't look nearly as good as the rest of the movie did. But like when Anna goes to the not to be jumping around, but when Anna goes to the that hut in the middle of the snow, where she meets the guy who's trying
Hello,
to
how are you?
Oh, that first off,
Summer
that's
blowout
beautiful.
sale.
That's it's two like ski shoes and like a blanket. Like that scene, it looks beautiful. Like it's a nice, warmly lit. It's gorgeously animated, and it's also a funny scene that feels more in line with like Tangled and a little less in line with this film. But sorry, I digress. Does look pretty, except for like one or two little spots.
Honestly, the thing that bugs me the most about this movie, it does not look as good as Tangled, but Tangled being such a lush environment gives it more of an opportunity to be more beautiful, whereas existing in a white palette of snow, there's only so many ways you can. They've found some really neat ways to make this movie look good, but the thing that kind of bugs me the most about this movie, and this is super minor, but it's something that I've noticed, I think their eyes are too big. I think that we've gone full Disney eyes here. If you look at if you just line up the princesses, their eyes just keep getting bigger and bigger, and it's like a third of their head is their eyeballs.
I was just gonna say, so we're going so large that now it's just a pair of eyes with a nose attached to it, and that's all we're getting right now.
That is super minor. I just, it's something that struck me in watching it this time, that the eyes just looked.
But that is something good to point out, because I was trying to figure out I had noticed that there was some. I can't even put it into words right now as I'm trying to reiterate what you just said. But I noticed there was something off about the characters, and I didn't know what it was. They still look very much so like the Disney-esque character design that we've kind of fell into and been like we were discussing. I think we discussed that during Tangled, right?
About their standard now is this
right.
look, yeah.
And I just thought, well, maybe it's that or whatever. But no, you know what? Their eyes being bigger than they had been in the past, I bet you that is it. Because everybody does have very gigantic eyes, and it's kind of scary.
It's just a detail that struck me. And also that they don't move as fluidly as Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph move. There's a little bit of stiffness. The moment that strikes me the most as very cardboard is the silhouette dancing during Love is an Open Door, where you just see Hans and Anna dancing behind the sail or the canvas. It looks very Paperman. no, Paperman's good.
I'll say, do not insult Paperman. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
But I love the voice of acting of Kristen Bell in particular. I just like her, and she plays the role so well. I know that she auditioned to play Rapunzel, that she was one of the options to play Rapunzel, and so they probably had her. They probably saw her coming for that, and they're like, "Not Rapunzel, but we got something. Get Kristen Bell back in here."
We have a perfect part for her, and that's a very good point to make. In regard to this film, because despite all the potential bashing of it that I might be doing in this episode, or just not, just uninterest in a lot of it. The voice acting is brilliant. All the actors do a fantastic job doing what they're supposed to be doing. I know Idina Menzel does, and I'm pretty positive Kristen Bell does too, but they all sing their songs too. They're not vocal doubles or anything.
Nope. Everybody does their singing this. And I won't go so far to agree with you in that this is a brilliant cast of voice actors, but I will say that for what the movie needed in terms of being far more Broadway, why not get Idina Menzel and Josh Gad, who and the guy who plays Kristoff is straight out of Broadway as well. Like, to have Broadway voices here, which is all more credit to Kristen Bell that she can hang with these Broadway stars, or maybe that's why she stands out more to me, that she doesn't have possibly the stage theatricality that some of the other performances have. I don't know. Her in particular, I love her performance, and I love Anna as a character because of that.
I will. I mean, yeah. Could they have gotten different voice actors? Like, is it as solid of a voice casting as Tangled was, or even as Wreck-It Ralph was? Like, no. I mean, I'm sure they could have gotten maybe somebody else. I can't tell you who. Obviously, I can't off the top of my head think of somebody better. But the actors that they have in it do a good job with what they have.
Oh, yeah. They're still great. They're still great.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I just don't think in terms of the ensembles we've seen before that this does not stand up to Wreck-It Ralph and Tangled in particular for talking about this era. They're perfectly adequate, and I don't mean that as an insult. Like, Josh Gad as Olaf is wonderful. Josh Gad has such a cute charm about him and that comes out through Olaf. That's like Kristen Bell has such a charm about her that comes out through Anna. And it's funny because I feel like Elsa upstages everyone in this movie for many reasons. Because she's written to be upstaging. You got Idina Menzel is one of the most wonderful, one of the best vocalists working today. And because she's so shoved in our face marketing wise that you think of Elsa when you think of Frozen, or you think of Olaf. I think of Anna first. I think of Kristen Bell first.
I mean, that's just because you like her.
It's true.
So okay, in all fairness, I like Kristen Bell too. Yeah. I can't deny that whatsoever.
So something I noticed in this, because I keep track of these sort of things. There's 10 freaking songs in this movie.
Oh man,
full numbers, full production numbers. There's 10 songs in this movie.
Not even like, oh, it's a short little brief song, or it's not like a reprise. It's like, no, it's full blown songs. It does, and like you were saying earlier, it definitely hits that stride of, hey, this feels like a Broadway show because so much exposition is given and the plot is furthered throughout a many song in this film.
It's
not just
it does not. Yeah, the songs aren't seamlessly interwoven, much like Tangled was. This feels more like those latter Renaissance movies, which I'll discuss again later. But I mean, why not discuss it right now? It verges on too Broadway, which I know can turn people off. Right? I like stage musicals. I grew up performing them, so I have an affinity for musicals. But I can see that having 10 songs in here, furthering the plot through suddenly breaking into song, like in the reprise for First Time in Forever when Anna tells Elsa, "Hey, you froze this. We're in eternal winter. Everything's in deep, deep, deep snow." And then they start singing their conversation. That is a very musical technique, and I can see how that could turn people off. This movie feels much more like Pocahontas and Hunchback of Notre Dame when it comes to feeling like a Broadway show as opposed to feeling like a movie musical.
Right. So. And again, that doesn't always necessarily hurt the film. It doesn't hurt the storyline of it or hurt the whole thing. It's just,
like I said, I like the standards of musicals, so I can accept that, but I can see how that could turn people off.
Right, because I feel like the general public will accept sorry, How I Met Your Mother moment there. I apologize. Those of you who watch How I Met Your Mother know what I was doing, but I feel like the general public did it again will accept like songs on the occasional song, like. Again, like an Aladdin, where there's a song and then there's a bunch of dialogue and then there's a song and then there's like there's spacing to the amount of songs versus the dialogue, and there's not those moments like you described where they're talking and they go into a song, which is flat out, old school Broadway.
Yeah.
It's such a theater thing. But yeah, I think you're right. Once they get into this type of music, it's harder for people to be widely accepting to it, because there are a lot of people who just don't like musicals like we like musicals, and it's just sad. That's not why I don't like it. I like this movie. I like the music. Don't get me wrong.
The music is great in this. Like I said, "Let It Go" is objectively a good song, and "Love Is an Open Door." That song's great. That's a great song. It's a great duet. Even going so far as "Reindeers Are Better Than People" is a cute little ditty, right?
Because that's the one that he's singing. That's the one he's singing like in the Hail Bay, right?
Right.
To Christoph. Yeah. He's doing
Christoph
both voices.
and Sven. He's like, which let's talk about that for a second. What a neat way to put a voice in the animal sidekick is having a guy who's a little nutty doing the voice for his animal side. But let's be honest here. Anybody who has a pet out there has had full-on conversations with their cat or their dog.
Guys, I've had full-on.
Yeah,
exactly. I've done that myself. You kidding?
Cat is just shaking her head no. Well, I have. So I like that little shtick about Christoph. Who voices Christoph? Because he was I know he's from Glee.
Yep, it's a guy from Glee, and it's also it's Jonathan Groff.
Okay, Jonathan Groff.
Groff, who also for any Hamilton fans out there, plays King George III for like the three songs, which I love those so much. Those are honestly, sorry. Side note from Hamilton, those are some of my favorite songs. Off of Hamilton, yeah. Okay. Anyways,
well, I know that the Lopez's, Robert and what is it, Christian, his wife. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name right now. It suddenly dawned on them that they had Jonathan Groff, a fantastic Broadway vocalist, and they had not written a song for him. So they wrote, "Whoops, the reindeers are better than people." Christina Lopez. Sorry.
There you go.
Right?
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Dang it. That sounds right, but now I'm completely second guessing myself. Wait, I had it. Yeah. No. Kristen.
Okay, Kristen. There
Kristen
you go.
and Robert Lopez. Yes. There we go. Had to get it open, guys. I didn't want us to be not telling the truth about anything.
Which Robert Lopez, Avenue Q, heck yeah. I got in a conversation about this on the Facebook page about why doesn't Robert Lopez's music from Winnie the Pooh, why is his music from Frozen doesn't exactly click like his previous work has clicked in terms of appeal and just to the general public.
The general public.
And I think that's because if you've ever heard Avenue Q, that is rated R. And if you've ever, even the songs that he wrote for Scrubs, the musical episode, have a Guy Love is a bit of a PG-13 song, right? So there's an edginess to those musical numbers versus the much more restrained Winnie the Pooh and the restrained aspect of Frozen. And I think maybe if he was able to cut loose and just do what he does, he would have crafted music that possibly could have appealed to those Avenue Q fans, right?
Right.
And I'm not knocking his music because I think the music in this, I actually have the 2-disc album. I didn't buy it physical, but it's still called 2 discs when you buy it digitally. Anyway,
I love that we're in that world now where it's just like Kleenex. It's a thing.
It's a double cassette. Got it. I play it.
I have this on vinyl. I hope you guys know that. I don't.
They wrote like another half dozen songs that got cut from this movie as the script was changing over the evolution of this film. Like,
which is insane. That's a lot of music to write that you don't even use, you know?
Right, and now there's a Broadway version of Frozen where they've written even more music. There is so much music for Frozen, it's insane. But I recommend checking out that bonus disc of the cut songs because every other track is an explanation of where it was going to go or what its context was had the script stayed as it was. And there's some neat songs. There's a little duet between that ended up being replaced by "Do You Want to Build a Snowman," when it was more about Anna being a spare and like disposable because she's not the firstborn. And there's some other couple variations on songs that made it into the film. It's neat. The music in this is impressive in how much of it there is.
And so kind of just taking a minor minor detour, but still talking about the music. I noticed something. My girlfriend and I were watching it because so my girlfriend and I watched this movie. She not a fan of this movie at all either. So we had a good talk regarding this film while watching it. But the credits started playing, and it's the Demi Lovato version of "Let It Go" that plays during the credits. And we're sitting there going, "This sounds like a completely different song." And we figured out what it is. It sounds like Smashing Pumpkins' "Disarm."
Oh, now I gotta listen to "Disarm" to see. Right.
Now I hope everybody out there goes and finds
Listens to "Disarm."
Listen, and then not the entire thing, but listen to the first 15 seconds of both of these songs. It's like we were playing simultaneously. As feels like let's play Dark Side of the Moon with with Wizard of Oz. It felt like that moment, but we were playing them simultaneously, and it almost lined up at a couple spots. It was like a slight key difference, but it's same instrumentation. It's fun. I'd recommend maybe doing that. I was contemplating trying to come up with some sort of mashup of the two of them because now I kind of just want to. But sorry, we were just discussing music, and that was the only spot I felt like I could bring that up in the entire episode.
That is fine. I mentioned the opening song earlier, the "Beware the Frozen Heart," which is very forgettable in just like the briny or the bottom the bottom of the blue, the opening song of Little Mermaid that everyone forgets.
Oh yeah, I never remember that opening song actually.
That's right, and it feels like, oh well, let's do that. That worked before. But let's dig into the script here a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Something that we get that we have never gotten before is the full tragic backstory in detail.
True. You get everything. Usually we get these little bits and pieces, or it's hinted at, or it's
Cinderella's mom died. Then her dad got remarried. Then he died. Let us begin. Right. It's not that.
This is you see everything.
Yeah.
Like right down to the fact of, okay, so their parents died in a horrible boating accident out in the seas, and while on their way to see the coronation of Rapunzel.
Well, I'll allow that one. I will allow that one. That theory's fine.
That's why Rapunzel shows up later on in the movie.
That holds water.
Oh no, it didn't. That's why it's saying. It's okay because don't worry. The mom and dad survived because they managed to land on an island and give birth to a boy that ended up becoming Tarzan.
No, it's 100 years separate. Tarzan is not. This movie takes place in 1840s. You got crossbows in one. You got guns in the other. We're moving on.
Oh,
so we get
I have to delete the next 12 pages of my notes because that was what that all was going to be. No,
the amount of backstory we get for Anna and Elsa is much more than I don't think we've ever gotten this much backstory before to set up the events of a film. And in the initial stage of this film, in trying to stick closer to the Snow Queen, and you've already alluded to this more than once, Jeff, Elsa was meant to be the villain.
Right.
That the intent was that she would go full evil witch, and then Anna would have to be the hero to stop her, and without killing her. Right. That the initial idea behind this was that, and they balked on that. They decided not to go that way.
But there's still remnants of that in the film. For example, you watch that scene where it's right before Elsa runs off. Everything is played off. Everything's played off like the tragic turn for a future villain. It's played to be like Elsa is supposed to be like a Hunchback of Notre Dame, or like a Frankenstein, or
I'm hideous.
My eyes are huge. This the one. But sorry, that's Hunchback. But like it's played out that way. It's absolutely played out in this sad, tragic twist where she's becoming the villain, even though she never wanted to be the villain, and it's still there. It is, and yeah, you could argue like, well, no, it's you need that because that's why she runs away, and that's why she does the snow thing in the first place, and that's what it furthers the plot. And yes, it does still further the plot, but that scene is just lifted out of a completely different movie for her character to be the villain. And I personally, I would have liked to have seen that version of this movie.
Yeah, I'm interested by that possibility as well. There is something neat about seemingly your tragic protagonist ending up being the villain, and then Anna being the leftover second born, having to turn around and become the hero. There's a cool story there, and we still do get that. They just didn't go all in on that idea. They made Elsa, less of a threat, less of an intentional threat. She's more of an accidental threat. And that little difference in what could have been and what is, all you can think of is the possibilities of that. And something that I noticed this time that I hadn't considered before in the goal of, oh no, this is still a happy, fun tale. The folks of Arendelle seem perfectly fine. They do not seem. There's nothing like, hey, our queen is locked in a tower and we've never seen her, and this is the first time we're seeing her in what, 10 years? No, it's like, hey, Coronation Day. All right.
Yeah.
Is this
like,
fun?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Arendelle is doing just fine.
Yeah, it's a very naive kingdom, basically. Yeah. But all right, whatever.
They seem perfectly fine. So, and that struck me as silly. Not as silly as some of the other elements that are deliberately funny. Like you had mentioned the shack before, like, oh, hello, winter sale, come on in.
Brilliantly done. That's funny. I like that scene.
But this humor-wise, this is not Tangled. It's close in that it's trying to replicate some of the stylings of the humor of Tangled, even right down to you got engaged to a guy you met on the first day. Like some of those meta humor references that we got in Tangled, which are played a little more tongue in cheek, are a little more biting on your tongue in Tangled. If strictly from a comedy perspective, I stand by that there are only 3 comedy sequels that are better than their original, and other than that, there is no part 2 in a comedy sequel in a comedy series that's better than the first. Austin Powers, National Lampoons, and Clerks. And that'll start a fight in the comments section, but I
so
stand
please
by
send
it.
all of your hate comments to TC at TC's Big Head on Twitter. Yeah. And no, I don't know. Actually, we've had that discussion on this podcast, though, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Possibly.
Yeah.
If not here, we've had it somewhere else.
I'm pretty positive that we have, and I agree with you because that's pretty much true.
But to look at Tangled versus Frozen in terms of humor, Tangled is a far funnier film, and the humor is more good-spirited. There is a bit of mockery in Frozen. I don't think that it's as egregious as some people want to say it is, but there is a little bit of feeling, I don't know, it's almost disrespectful to the traditions of, if you look at Sleeping Beauty, and I do think that this movie has a lot of comparison to Sleeping Beauty in the I Know You. Once upon a dream, when Aurora meets Philip in Sleeping Beauty, boom, she falls for him because she's seen him in her dreams, and this is the guy she's been waiting for. Boom, they're in love, they're going to get married. They're 16, what do they know?
Right.
Same thing happens with Anna here, but it's a little too much wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the audience. I'm on the fence because I do find it humorous that Elsa up front is like, wait, what? No one's getting married. What? It's true love. You don't know what true love is, but then that at that point leans into the themes and the story itself. I'm more amused by Kristoff, who says, wait, hold on. She's trying to explain. She's like, wait. You think you love a guy you just met? And then, hey, let me help. No, I don't trust your judgment. That's funny. That works. That's funny right there. That is really well done. And if that was the only way, if that was the only spot they did that joke, I'd be way happier.
Well, see, and this is going along the lines of the humor and stuff like that. This is one of those areas in this film that I saw it falter because you could see moments like that in this movie. You could see that, I guess in my head, I see those parts are from those parts are the remaining parts from a different draft of this film.
Possibly,
that
yeah.
I like to think was funnier, that did attempt to go when they like I like to believe that, okay, so they were probably going the darker route originally. They were going to make Elsa the bad guy. That was the way they were going to go. They heard the Let It Go thing, and then they've changed it to make it be a different story. And there's a part of me that really wants to believe that somebody stepped up and went, we should make it funny like Tangled, because that still told a great story, but it was funny throughout the entire thing. So they started adding those bits and those pieces into it, and that was as far as they got. But when that sort of thing happens, it's not tonally consistent, because that is my end, that's a hashtag tonally inconsistent. That's a phrase that we've said on this podcast 1,000 times. Yeah. That's my problem with this film, is that I strongly see a tonal inconsistency in it. I see bits and pieces of a tragic villain backstory that don't actually play out. I see bits and pieces of the classic, fairy tale stories that kind of play out, but then are kind of forgotten about, but then are kind of also just made into jokes. And then I see bits and pieces of a all-around, well-written, clever, funny script that didn't quite, live up to that full potential. And that's where I struggle with this movie.
You are right on the money here, and I've already said this once before. This is what makes this movie so similar to Hunchback of Notre Dame and Pocahontas, which we also criticized for that tonal inconsistency. But the humor is still there. I think that there is still some great bits in this. Even if Olaf annoys you, he's still he's so cute.
Right.
Oh, I've been impaled, right? Actually, one of the jokes, if we can go to Tudyk Watch real quick.
Yes, please do.
Welcome
to Tudyk Watch, everybody. Tudyk Watch 2018.
Who voices the Duke of Weselton? Did he do... I think this is, like I said earlier, it's once the machine has checked off all the boxes, it's up to the creative to insert good things. There's an Arrested Development joke in this. When he's dancing with Anna...
He does the chicken dance.
He does the chicken dance.
Yes, he does.
That is straight up Arrested Development, and that is funny, and that's there for a certain type of fan right there.
Yep. Because you know what? That's funny. I had never noticed that before until last night while watching the movie. That when he started dancing, and I was gonna say something, but it goes by so quick. I would have spent 10 minutes just explaining it, or just trying to be like, so while he's doing that, no, he does do the, yeah.
Have any of you ever even seen a chicken?
Sorry, that show is brilliant.
You got it. So that even the Duke of Weselton himself, I like that his hairpiece keeps flopping over. That's some funny stuff right there. But then we lose that in its entirety after Elsa goes crazy. After Elsa goes bad, we never go back to the buffoonery that is the Duke of Weselton.
Right,
Alan Tudyk, because he's just then becomes seemingly the antagonist.
Right, and that's. I think that's, or not even I think. I know for a fact that is why I have the biggest struggle with this film. Why I struggle the most with trying to enjoy it is because it shifts tone consistencies. Talking about a giant tonal shift. How about the last 20 minutes of the movie? Or spoilers, guys. We'll talk about the spoiler right now. But the fact that the prince is actually the villain... After they present him the entire movie, they present him as a good guy. Not even like a weird glance, not even like a weird line, not suspicious, not even something like, well, maybe someday I'll be able to take over. Like nothing, like absolutely no hint.
Nothing. It's
And then
completely
so the moment,
a heel turn. Just, I'm the bad guy now.
yeah, and it's not even like it's a halfway through the film. It's the last 20 minutes of the movie, and it's like, oh, never mind. Here's the actual bad guy for the film. I'm sorry. What?
What?
You did not. You were not going that direction, movie. This is the
Yeah.
this is the last 20 pages of a different draft. And see, just
Well, I'm hesitant to do it now, but I could if you'd like. I do have some theory behind this.
you know what? Go ahead. You know,
Okay,
I'm okay. Let's get into some of these theories. I want to know.
Okay.
I want to know.
This is gonna be a little lengthy, but please bear with me. And actually, I'll go off. I'm gonna hit one of our tweets right now. This is from Mike Helms. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tweeting. Hans is a ridiculous character. There is no reason why he suddenly flip-flops at the end and becomes bad. It feels very underwritten. So Mike here completely agrees with you, Jeff.
I swear I am not Mike.
Yeah, and
But thank you, Mike, for agreeing with me.
You're not alone here. There's a few comments we got about Hans' sudden shift here, and yes, this flip is completely out of the blue. But Jeff, do you want a theory? Because I got a theory.
I would love a
You want
theory.
Okay, I think Hans' heel turn is the least believable plot point. That's not the theory. Okay, that's just a fact.
Okay.
You're not going to get a lot of argument from anyone that this is so out of the blue. But up to a point, he's the most heroic Disney prince we've ever seen, right? One of the most. He's selfless. He's dedicated. He stops one of Weselton's dudes from crossbowing Elsa to death, right?
True.
Like
Yeah.
he's and this is what you were saying. You were saying that it's like up to a certain point, he's a completely cool dude, right? He's a
Right.
good guy. And then until his villainous admission, the romance between Hans and Anna is never presented as anything other than sincere. It is a completely sincere. And you want to know why? You want to know how we know it's sincere and real? Because it's presented to us in the most earnest way known to man or beast. They sing it.
They sing it. Yeah.
They sing it. Anna and Hans sing and open up a whole new world of... No, wait.
Wait. They want to be our guest of... Wait, no, hold on.
no.
That's...
They sing it, okay?
Yeah.
It's an instant connection, right? Like that "Love Is an Open Door" song is a great lovers duet. It's one of the best, and we know it's truthful, okay? Because this is a theory that I've developed, and maybe there's someone else out there, but I've brought this up to friends before, especially friends who listen to the podcast, to be like, hey, what are you watching next? Something I like to bring up from time to time is nobody lies to the audience in song. In a Disney musical number. Nobody, if a character is singing, they are not lying to the audience. They will lie to the character they might be singing to, but they never lie to the audience, right? Dr. Facilier, Scar, Mother Gothel, Ursula, Gaston, all those characters' villain songs have, Flotsam Jetsam, now I got her, boys, right? They have asides that show their true intent. And nowhere in their duet does Hans say, I'm totally going to get her, right? There's no indication because characters don't lie to the audience in song. I defy someone to find an example where a character does lie to the audience and pull the wool over their eyes. Mm-hmm. It does not exist unless it does, and I'm just not thinking of it. But do the research. Okay.
And then let us know where we were wrong.
This is a lot of preamble to get to my theory, but trust me, I'm on a journey here, and you're coming with me, Jeff, right?
I won't stop believing.
So it's clear that... All right, so this is just a small-town girl, and she's living in this lonely world, right? And she takes a midnight sleigh to save her sister. Okay, get back on point. This episode will be so long if you don't let me finish, Jeff. Okay, so it's clear that Hans has a change of heart, right? But I don't think that he changed his heart under his own volition. Which character or characters have the ability to change a heart or a mind?
Elsa.
No,
not Elsa. No, she just caused Anna's heart to...
The trolls. The trolls have proven magic in the first 5 minutes of the movie that they can change a mind. Not a heart, but they can change a mind. Jeff, when we first meet the trolls, they cured Anna, right? They cured Anna,
Right.
who was accidentally wounded. They cure her by removing her memories, and they wipe her memory with a wave of their hand. Boop. She does not have the memory of what she believed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have the power, but they're still good guys, right? Like that is a pretty powerful power, and they're the good guys. Look at them this way, okay? They're not the adorable sentient potatoes that they seem to be, all right? They said that.
Adorable Sentient Potatoes is going to be my punk rock cover band. Just saying. Anyways.
That's how they're perceived because that's what we, right? But what is the memory of them in the book that Anna's dad opens up when he's like, we gotta save my daughter. I know who can do this. There's trolls that have magic in the woods. And he looks them up and they look like demons, right?
Right.
In the original Snow Queen, the villain in it is a troll who is the devil. Okay?
Interesting.
In the original text, the troll in the Snow Queen is the devil in disguise. Okay, I'm suggesting that the trolls use their magic to change Hans's heart, because
Change his heart or his mind?
It changed his mind. Sorry, they changed
yep.
his mind. They used their abilities to get the ending that they wanted for their Kristoff, their human, right? Because if they can connect Anna with Kristoff, their child will be the heir to the throne and lead the kingdom, right? So I think this is all a power move by these little sentient potatoes, right? And furthermore, after they meet Anna, right, and they do magic on her, and we see all their gems glow in the circle when they're trying to, like, do you, Anna, take Kristoff to be your trophy wedded wife, right? The next time Anna sees Hans is when he betrays her. The next time we see Hans, he stops Elsa from being murdered. Okay? So he's still a good guy. It isn't until Anna and Hans are together again that, boom, he's the bad guy. And I'm saying that the trolls did it.
Okay.
Because Kristoff and Anna don't belong together. Like, they end up together, that's fine. I mean, honestly, Kristoff's love of ice, don't you think he'd be better suited with Elsa? But the trolls think that if they could get their boy Kristoff with Anna, right?
Right.
And they can, ostracize the evil queen because she has the power to overthrow them. They say that the engagement's a flex arrangement. They don't see no ring. They're not making a joke in that song. That's the villain song. A fixer-upper is the declaration of their intent because they're the villains, and villains can't lie in song. Boom. Trolls are the bad guys. That's why Hans turns. Think of it. Think of it. Everyone listening. Hear me now and believe me now.
Hear me now and believe me later.
So Elsa is super powerful. She creates life twice. She created Marshmallow and she created Olaf, right? She's super powerful. So, but what better way to take her out than to use her sister against her?
So now, having said that, okay, so now do you think... So that theory that you just said does hold water. It holds a lot of water.
Yes.
It, however, would need...
Ice cold.
It holds a lot of cold water. Very nice, a very ice amount of cold water, actually. Just chill out. It's okay. So you know what I'm doing. So what I'm thinking, it's Home on the Range all over again.
Thomas is very happy right now because he asked if this movie would be better if Elsa had Mr. Freeze School of Acting lessons.
Oh,
I was like, brilliant. Do you know what killed the dinosaurs while fleeing Arendelle? The Ice Age. That's a terrible Schwarzenegger. I've never claimed to be a good Schwarzenegger, but please continue. So you think my theory holds water?
Your Schwarzenegger sounded a lot like Insult the Try the Insult Dog.
Which one of these buttons calls your mother for a ride?
It sounded very much like that. Oh, I'm sorry,
Get
everybody.
to the chopper. There we go. All
this is just TC and I making each other laugh at this point. That's all we're doing. So
let's go back to my theory here. Back to my theory. Welcome back. Thank you for that break. Yeah.
We always do like those little intermissions when there's gonna be a long episode.
The trolls are the bad guy.
Right. Now that theory does hold water and it works, but I do definitely feel like obviously in the film you would never necessarily be able to completely make the connection in that theory from simply from what you're told in the movie. I feel like it would need to have at least a couple more scenes in order to flesh that out because it's, if you sit and think about it, yes, but the average moviegoer is not going to make that connection.
Well, Jeff,
while
you know what this
watching the movie
means.
Right now.
You have to watch it again with that theory in mind.
With that theory in mind.
All of you listening have to watch it one more time with my theory in mind that the trolls are the bad guys. Look,
hashtag
you know what,
not worth it.
you know what one of the biggest problems of this whole movie is? And
the entire
sure,
thing?
you can. I was just gonna say you would claim there are many. There's two things missing from this song, from this movie. There's no "I Want" song and there's no villain song.
Right.
You can't say that "Let It Go" is an "I Want" song. It's not. And you can't say there's a villain song in this either, unless you go off my theory, which is the trolls are the bad guy, so the fixer-upper is the villain song. But there's no, those two elements are missing, and those are two crucial elements in creating truly classic Disney. I mean, whether you like it or not, Frozen's going to be a classic for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
There's no stopping that. But there's no direct "I Want" song. There's no direct villain song, and I missed those. I think that of all, having 10 songs in here, you think one, okay, yes,
Well, but see-
yes, you could say "In Summer" is sort of an "I Want" song, but that's not the protagonist's "I Want" song. Darn it!
Right. See, and again, this, I feel like our lack of those two songs goes back to the fact that the script got changed so much that where those songs probably were in the piece or intended on being in the film were no longer there because the tone got shifted, the characters got shifted around. And look, and I completely get it, and I completely understand. These movies always have a ton of writers. All of these Disney movies go through multiple drafts and multiple rewrites and different takes, and different writers will take a crack at it and will add their pieces and remove some stuff. Yeah, because that's the Disney committees that you rarely get a movie that's written by one or two people, maybe three at most. You get a movie that's written by about 15 different people. They're just not all credited.
We're only allowed to give 5 people the story credit.
Exactly. So I'm sure all these things that we've been discussing about, because you know what? Yeah, what I was saying about your theory, that it makes sense to me, and I bet you anything that probably was one of the original directions it was going to go when it was a different film, when Elsa was the bad guy. I bet you they would have gone that route, or there would have been a little more of those darker tones in it. But instead, we already have an hour and 40-minute movie, which, by the way, is one of the longest that we've had in this.
This is quite long
in this series.
Yeah,
and
which is why we're going for an hour 45 for our episode today.
Exactly, that's just what's going to happen. And even in an hour and 40-minute movie, there's still plot holes. There's still things that they didn't like. Well, what about that? Why didn't Why there could have been one more scene to help explain that theory of why Hans did what he did? Like. But it would have just made the movie super long, and Disney doesn't want to, Disney's not going to make a 2.5 hour long animated film because, I don't know, frankly, kids aren't going to watch that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I love my nieces to death. They wouldn't watch a 2.5 hour animated film from Disney. They'll get bored halfway through and turn it off.
Yeah. Well, let's
I don't know. When it comes down to a lot of it, just like I said, a lot of my issues with this film, just it deals with the script. And I can see I'll be positive and I'll be positive here for a minute, and I can see a movie I would have enjoyed better in this film. I can see pieces of it. I can see the humor from a couple of those scenes. That would have been a great version of this film. I can see the
my
darker.
sled, I just paid it off.
See things like that. Like that would have been another great Tangled like comedy. But at the same time, I love the tragic, like a tragic villain story. I would love. I made the connection to like Frankenstein and the Hunchback earlier. Phantom of the Opera would have very well been. Kind of also along in the same line. Like Elsa is she's thought to be a monster, and she goes and she hides, and she's like, well, I'll show them type thing. I would have loved that. That type of movie would have been a fantastic film. Even as a kid's movie, it could have been very interesting to see that.
But not from Disney. I think that's more, if Don Bluth was still making movies, then that would be more in his ballpark. For the record, not all men pick and eat their boogers. I don't know what Christoph was thinking, but then again, he's been living with trolls his whole life. So
trolls and he does the voice of a reindeer. So
of a reindeer, which by the way, I'm putting Sven on the horse list. I know he's not a horse,
yes,
but by default he totally belongs there.
He's close enough. I will allow that one, and I'm pretty positive most of our listeners will be okay with that as well.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a lot of comments to dive into
Yes.
here. I picked out some of my favorite ones. If you don't mind, Jeff, before we get into like some of the other, like before ranking it, before talking about any like tropes and whatnot, I want to get into these comments because I think a lot of these are worth discussing in helping form our opinion a little more strongly. So everyone who comments on Facebook.com/TopShelfPod, thank you. A lot of our regulars commented here. Got a bunch of tweets from people, from new listeners as well that I've never heard from before. So thank you for those comments. So I'm just gonna hit up the Facebook page real quick because we got a few here. So Christy, you got in right when we started recording, so you get, good for you, good timing. Christy Dozer says, despite it being written to blatantly make fun of Disney princesses of the past and its plot holes, I enjoy the movie! ! I'm very close to my sister, so Anna's sacrifice for Elsa gets me every time and always has me in tears. I love the music. Let It Go still bangs. Sorry. And the voice acting is great. This movie was everywhere and way oversaturated, so I understand why people don't like it. Yes. I'm sorry, Christy, you clearly have heard agreement from us. Well, mostly me.
Hey, guys, I don't care. We got 3 more of these episodes left. You're going to hate me? Go ahead and hate me for the last 3 of these podcast episodes. No, I'm sorry.
Christy,
I don't like this movie.
Christy, you hit. Don't hate Jeff ever. Come on, he's a nice guy.
Don't hate me, please. I have enough people who don't like me already.
Aw. Christy, you did hit on a point we're going to hit in a moment because several other people mentioned this as well, which was the sister angle. I'll get back to that. Aaron Williams, all caps Aaron Williams, says, the very beginning of this movie had him in tears. When it came out, he had a little blonde daughter and his new little brunette daughter, and the thought of them growing up not being able to see each other and play with each other was the saddest thing. And they missed out on their entire childhoods together, which is a tragedy. Aaron, you are absolutely right. And again, I'm going to hit on that point in a moment once I get a few more of these. Natasha says, when Frozen came out, she really enjoyed it. The music, the characters, the plot twists, she never saw coming. You shouldn't have. If that's like saying you saw the ending of Saw coming. There was no evidence to lead us to this unless you follow my theory that the trolls are the bad guy, Natasha.
You brought up Saw on a Disney podcast.
If you claim to have seen the ending of Saw coming, you are a liar.
You're a liar.
No one.
No one saw the end of Saw coming.
Okay, I'm sorry, Natasha.
I will agree though, TC. Don't worry, I agree with you. But,
her opinion changed because this movie was constantly everywhere, and having to watch it more times than she wanted to with her niece did not help. The hype and the popularity really killed it for her. You, among many others, Natasha.
Yep.
Now that it's been a few years, she was able to enjoy it again. Thomas had a few. I already hit up on a couple here. Destroy the frozen, cryogenically frozen Thomas. I had seen that earlier, so that's why I referenced it. The Mr. Freeze lines as well. Is this another example of Katzenberg sticking it to Disney by stealing singing trolls to make? See, there's the real villain, children.
It's the person who's not even involved.
Ugh, that Trolls movie. I know it's got catchy tunes and whatnot, but I think the vitriol some people have for Frozen, I have for just DreamWorks.
But I mean, I feel wait, guys, hold on a minute. TC has a problem with DreamWorks and Jeffrey Katzenberg.
This is a revelation, and
this is a revelation. We need to spend at least
before.
6 more episodes discussing.
Wyatt says he looks to these movies for escapist entertainment, and the key aspect of what made the previous 52 films stand out for him is that escapism. And just because people don't fall in love the way Snow White, Cinderella, Ariel, Jasmine do doesn't necessarily mean it's harmful fantasy. And he may accept the romance and be charmed by it, but he knows it can be unrealistic at times. And he thinks what happened is Disney got tired of dealing with the criticism they received over that for decades and decided to fix it with their previous mistakes, which would explain their live action remakes. Yeah, jeez. It goes to that. It's that cynicism versus respect that Tangled versus Frozen has in terms of homaging or mocking the past princesses. And I called Tangled a turning point when we discussed it a few weeks ago, Jeff. And I think I think Frozen makes missteps in how they treat the princesses of the past. It feels more systematic. It feels more like the machine making a film. So I do agree with you, Wyatt, that there is that mockery of the princesses of the past just doesn't quite work. And our good friend, Scarstar, hashtag
Scarstar.
She liked it the first time she watched it, but the hype soured it for her.
Yeah.
She doesn't think it does. She definitely doesn't think it deserves all the hype. The important question is, do we think that reindeers are better than people? You know what? Some people. Some people.
some, and also some people think that that reindeer are horses. So
yeah, I think that. Yeah. Let's
think
see. So I'm gonna keep blowing through some of these. Ryan School says now that he's a father of a daughter, he has his two nieces. He has a fresh opinion on this movie, but he liked the story quite a bit. He feels it suffered once again the hype. He calls it the Forrest Gump effect, where the hype was too much to make the movie enjoyable when you finally saw it. And again, we will agree on that. Brittany posts, thank you for commenting.
Oh.
She thinks the music is amazing, the story is cute, and would have been better, honestly, if they kept Kristoff and Anna's relationship platonic. Kind of agree with you there. Yeah. It was a nice sentiment that it was sisters' love that melted the frozen heart, and the story should have kept more focus on the sister relationship. Again, totally agree with you. We're going to get to it in a minute. Honestly, I can't get through the movie without crying a whole bunch, so I definitely connected with it. I think because I love my sister so much, it makes me think of her. So Brittany is definitely a fan. Don Frazen, who a friend of ours, Jeff, he liked it. He feels Elsa is the victim of the victim and the hero. Why? Because she was a victim because of a good majority of her young life. She was hid away. Oh, Don, we're gonna hit on that in a moment. And incidentally, she put her sister's life above all else, and his takeaway is that he loves the movie. So thank you for that. Scholzy says overall he likes it. He still does. The songs are fun. The voice characters are amazing. I didn't know Kristen Bell could sing that well. The story to him is the main issue. And Chris, obviously, we agree with you on that the script itself is problematic.
Yep.
It was a good twist that the True Love's kiss thing wasn't the factor, but the story just jumped around way too much for his liking. Too much. It's not better than Tangled. So I think most parents have an issue with Let It Go because it was overplayed. It doesn't mean it's a bad song. It was just overplayed.
Yep.
And then lastly, a friend of mine, Susie, she was like, how do I feel about this movie? And she posted a picture of herself in an Anna costume. So I assume that means she likes it.
Oh, I was going to say, I feel like she just hates the movie then.
Okay, so thank you for all those comments on there, folks. Obviously, we hit on a lot of those. I want to hit these tweets now, Jeff, because I have a few here that are a little more in-depth conversation-wise, that hit on a lot of what were commented on Facebook. And now if you'll indulge me, and if our listeners will indulge us having the longest episode yet, I'm gonna hit up the tweets now. So thank you. You can tweet at me at TC's Big Head. You can tweet at Jeff at Random Bell. All right. First up, Theoden. Theoden. I think that might be a Lord of the Rings reference. Okay.
It feels like it does feel like it.
He says, for starters, the parents are clearly evil. Why does no one call social services?
That's okay. So right there, good point.
Yep.
And I was thinking about this about 10 minutes ago when we were talking about the parents and talking about the villains. I guess you could argue very clearly right there what he just said, the fact that the parents themselves are the villain and they get their comeuppance in the first 15 minutes of the movie by being killed in the water.
This is what you get.
This is what you get. So really the rest of the movie doesn't have any villain because the villains were the parents and they killed them off in the beginning.
Lock me in a tower. Okay, look. First off, there was no social services in the 1840s. Just want to throw that out there. I know you're being I know he was being silly, but okay, look. Yeah. The parents in this movie are terrible. I don't think they're inherently evil. I think they're just bad parents because they were afraid. Their ignorance affected their children, right? They feared what Elsa may be, and they locked her away and taught her to be afraid, which for the record, is a problem of another movie of 2013. of raising a powerful child to fear what people will think of them. Zack Snyder's John and Martha Kent are the worst. But the parents, because of locking Elsa up, they also locked Anna up, and that fear of their child being not normal that is terrible parenting. That is really bad parenting.
Yep. Yep. And again, that's okay. They were the villain.
Yeah.
They got killed. We're good.
Yeah. And to kind of piggyback off that, and this is a comment worth getting into. Jeff and I are probably the least qualified people to discuss this tweet, so we will discuss it to a point, but we can only go so far. This is from Karen. She asks, "Do we subscribe to this film being an allegory for being gay? That Elsa is gay, that she is an allegory for that." Jeff, have you heard this before? How do you feel about this?
I have heard this before, and I can see where that idea comes from because of the way that the parents act. Because once the parents find out that Elsa is quote unquote different and she is not what she's not how they are, she's not the way that
normal.
That you're supposed to be. You're
not
normal. And the whole concept of, just keep it inside and don't let it out, and we're not going to let you get out, and we're not going to let you do. You can see that. You can see the fear of people who don't understand why somebody is gay, and the fear of it behind their eyes, and that's what the parents are doing. Yeah. And you can definitely get that out of this film. I would not disagree at all.
100%. I genuinely appreciate the connection that the LGBT community has found in this film, that Elsa is this heroine, this hero of the LGBTQ community. And I can definitely see where that interpretation comes from, and I'm okay with it. I don't necessarily think that was the intent, but intent versus the resulting feelings are moot once the idea has been prescribed, right? Like a Lord of the Rings reference with Theoden, I'll say Tolkien he was adamant that Lord of the Rings was not an allegory for the Industrial Revolution, but there is so much evidence for that, it's hard not to see it that way, right?
Right.
So,
right.
The intent versus the interpretation. I personally might not see it as an allegory for being gay, but I can totally understand why a community of people feel that way. And cool, I'm perfectly okay. And by the way, if you don't like Frozen because you think that's the case, you got a problem.
You've got a problem. Because
you need to go on a ship with your significant other to go see Rapunzel's wedding and have similar results. Is that too mean? Did I go too far?
No, it's cool. I'm okay with
it. Here's a quickie. Live by Night. Yeah, Elizabeth. Live by Night. At Live by Night says, "I like this movie, but it's too dark. The scene where Anna gets struck in the beginning and then goes sees the trolls all takes place at night, and it scared me the first time." This is not the darkest movie in the library by a long mile.
It's definitely not. It gets there are some other ones that are darker. Now, are you talking like emotionally dark, or
no, just visually dark?
Visually dark. Okay.
It was I wish I could have seen it better. If they had done it during the daylight, I could have seen it better, but it was too dark.
Maybe that's what she meant. I am not mocking you, Liv. Thank you for listening. Please don't take that as me mocking you.
It's okay. We got 3 more episodes left. Apparently, we're just drilling ourselves a hole. That's all we're doing.
You could be honestly. I'm not afraid. I'm not surprised that someone would be afraid by this movie. My older sister used to have nightmares about Big Bird. So who knows what scares people?
La 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 la.
That's my big. That's my big bird.
That's a spot on bird.
Thank you. Okay, so this is from @RangerDanger. He says, "The plot is," and for the purpose of this podcast, I'm just going to say poop.
Okay.
He says, "Don't get me started about the trolls who are introduced in one song and don't do anything else interesting. Also, I love how, oh yeah, Love's First Kiss Will Save You is introduced with about 5 minutes to go, all casual like." Okay, thank you for tweeting, Ranger. Let's hit the trolls real quick. They are introduced in the first 5 minutes, and they're the ones that say the essentially the theme in the movie, which is only love can thaw a frozen heart, an act of true love. Right.
An act of true love, yep.
And they are developed much like Mama Odie is in The Princess and the Frog, in that Kristoff constantly talks about his love expert friends. So they are there at the beginning. They are mentioned several times throughout. Yes, they do show up again at the end of the second act before the end of the movie. But they are there throughout. So there is... I'm not saying they're done well. We've already discussed the fallacies of this script in itself. But in defense of the script, the trolls are there through the whole thing. So, and as far as Love's True Kiss Will Save You, that's not introduced in the last 5 minutes. Like I said, they said that it's easier to change. They imply that it's easier to change a mind than to change a heart. And the old man troll, the Grampy troll, says, only an act of true love can thaw a frozen heart, right? Which are the lyrics in the opening song of the movie, Beware the Frozen Heart. Just saying that all the aspects of thawing a frozen heart, beware the frozen heart. That's from the get-go of this movie. And something I've always admired this movie for is the non-traditional love story. That it isn't a love's true kiss that can save the day. It is that it's the love between sisters that does it.
Right. And I will say that twist or that revelation in the film was kind of a, oh, okay, didn't see that coming moment.
Yeah.
Even last night when I was watching it, my girlfriend she got mad early on because when she heard that, she went, "Is it the true love's kiss thing? Is it that? Like, are you serious? Are we doing that trope like that that moment of thinking like, oh, they're gonna just go that route?" But the fact that they didn't was a nice change in the film, and I will give them credit for kind of subverting our expectation, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. The thing is then and I'm sorry to keep comparing this to Tangled, but I think it's a very apt comparison. The very blatant, hey, it's love's true kiss. Oh no, it's this sacrifice of his sister. That's very surface. When you look at something like Tangled, where Flynn sacrifices himself in his dying act to save Rapunzel, that is an act of true love that is very subtextual and thematic and to the motifs of Tangled itself. That is a much more mature way to present that idea as opposed to the very blatant and upfront way that they present it in Frozen. I'm not saying oh boy, I echoed through your speakers there, Jeff. Sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm not saying that what Frozen did was bad. I'm not. I actually love that it's the sisterly love that bonds them in the end. The relationship between Elsa and Anna is the strength of this film. Honestly, the last tweet I have here is from Chainsaw Charlie, who says, Elsa and Anna aren't classy. They had little attitudes that weren't Disney princess-like. I didn't care for them. There wasn't a character in this thing that got a hold of my heart. Charlie, thank you for tweeting.
Wow.
It's nice to have dissenting opinions so that we can comment on them. I'm going to disagree with you. I think they are both quite princess-like, especially in the Disney pantheon. Anna is very Ariel-like, and Elsa is... Well, I mean, okay, so she's literally a princess. Elsa's like, she is princessly.
Princessly?
And besides, the Disney princesses canonically are like the ones that are crowned are, I mean, Mulan's not an actual royalty, and Merida from Brave, though she's a Pixar character, she's a tomboy, right? So
right.
I think that Charlie here hits on something very important in terms of a lot of criticism this movie faces. I'm gonna guess by your name you're a guy. I'm gonna guess by your tone you're not very in touch with your emotions. I think I just lost us a listener. I'm sorry, but it's a comment worth hitting here. So. Jeff,
welcome to the last 3 episodes, guys, where everyone listening, where we slowly just bash all of our remaining listeners.
Okay, thank you for all those comments. Thank you for all those tweets. If we just lost a few listeners, I apologize. But I love engaging in some of these conversations we've had. Most of the conversations have been very rational. And if I've just, honestly, Jeff, a lot of the comments, the threads, the direct messages threads that I've had on Twitter have gotten a little more debatable. So I have not necessarily brought them up fully Charlie, I hope I didn't lose you as a listener. That's all the comments. That's all the tweets I have. Thank you, everybody. That was a lot of really cool stuff.
Thanks, guys. TC was telling me about all the comments that we'd received this week because obviously he keeps track of most of our comments.
Yeah.
And we were talking before this episode began about, wow, we're gonna. Ooh, this is going to be a long episode because I'm not going to lie, I also wasn't super surprised when I had found out that we had a lot of comments to get through because of the nature of this film. I mean, come on, it's Frozen. It's the one movie out of these 56 movies that you go, hey, so we're going to talk about Frozen that everybody is going to have an opinion about.
Right. And
whether it's I like that movie or I never saw it or oh my god I hate that movie. Like that is the comments you're going to get.
Yeah, it elicits a response. And there's a handful of other comments and tweets I can't get to right now just because we've been going on so long. And I want to kind of move towards our final section of the show here, right? And first up, Jeff, would you suggest that this is a movie for children, that this is a movie for families? Like what's the audience? Is there an audience for this? Is there...
You know,
whether you want to or not, I think the answer is yes, because of just how much kids love this movie, especially little girls and little boys as well. But it's such a my answering my own question is yes, 100%. Just pop in some earbuds, listen to a cool podcast, and let your kids watch it on their own. Because unlike something like Tangled or Wreck-It Ralph, or going old school, you look at Aladdin, or if you go back a little further, movies you can tolerate over and over again, there's just something about this movie that rubs people the wrong way. But Jeff, what do you think? Is this the movie for kids?
There's nothing overtly bad in this film. I mean, yes, you can. There's some people who definitely do think that it has, obviously it has connections to like the gay and lesbian community. There's people who do not care for the message that's conveyed in it. There's nothing, but there's no brutal violence. There's no language. There's nothing in it that. There's nothing in it that a little kid isn't just going to watch and sing along and look at the princesses and want to be a princess. For a lot of little girls. Not all little girls. Not saying that's how everyone is, but there's nothing in it that's bad. Now, if I was given a choice for what I would show, like a little kid, if I had the option, I would show them Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin or any of those. But that's me. My personal preference is I'd rather show them something that I know I like the story and I kind of like how it was told, and I like the music, and there's a semi decent message in there. But at the same time, no, I mean, yeah, sure, you could show a kid this film and they're not gonna walk away from it having like a completely different lifestyle design, and they're not gonna change their life just from watching it.
I think I figured out the actual audience for this movie. The genuine, you're gonna sit like probably will work every time. It would be a grandmother who loved Snow White and Cinderella showing it to the grandkids, as opposed to someone who's more in our age bracket who has a, I don't know, because of just technology, internet, social media, yada, 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 has a different way to form an opinion about cinema. I think that the classic love for Snow White that a person might have is going to reflect onto how they feel about Frozen. That's in terms of being girly. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I mean that as a genuine good thing. My thoughts.
All right. All right.
Tropes. Any tropes or firsts in this movie? Because there is a first.
The first itself, I missed the first. I always continue to forget to look for firsts these days.
What number movie is this?
This is number 53.
It took them 53 movies, folks, but we have our first female director.
Oh, really? With Jennifer Lee?
Yes, she co-directed with, I think it's Chris Buck, who has done some other things. But this is the first female director we've had in this Disney Animation Studios library. That's cool and also kind of sad. It took 75 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, it took 75 years and 52 or 53 movies before we finally get a female director. That's a good point.
But any tropes in this? I know
trope. The closest thing that I really kind of came to was the whole like an act of true love in order to break the spell.
Animal
that was
sidekick.
And then animal sidekick with Sven. Yep.
Yeah.
But those were kind of the only two that I really detected because again, with no real villain. Because even the villain, even Hans in this movie, he just gets punched, doesn't he?
Yeah, she just
Right.
when he hits Anna with the sword, it blows him back and knocks him
Yeah.
down. That's
Yeah.
it. So he's
So
not
it's
like
like-
destroyed by his own hubris. Hubris.
Right. Hubris. I like
Hubris.
that. I wish I had known that like ages ago. I would have continued calling it that and not, undone by their own undoing. And my head just breaks. So, but that's all I had for tropes this week.
Okay,
There wasn't
okay.
there wasn't a ton from me.
Well, then I think there's one question that remains here.
3.
Yep, it's time.
What was that?
Of
Not
all
the
the
answer you were looking
movies,
for?
of all the movies we've watched so far, so we are ranking this last section, 1 through kind of 10. We had what's our list so far? We have Wreck-It Ralph, we have Winnie the Pooh,
And Winnie
we
the
have-
Pooh.
and Frozen here. How do you rank
Yep.
this? And you've already said 3.
I'm sorry, guys. This is number 3. I can't. The screenwriter in me, the lover of wanting to tell a good, coherent story in me, trumps the.
Don't say Trump.
Sorry, I know, and I'm still trying to get over that.
I'm sorry. I know you don't like to get political.
No, it's okay. I've been trying not to say that word anymore, anyways.
Anyway, the writer in you.
The writer in me that wants to tell a good story wins out over the Broadway musical lover in me, and the comedy and the just the lighthearted. That falls to a wayside for me. And if a film in my eyes does not have a good solid story, I can forgive 1 or 2 plot holes or I wish they did this instead.
Yeah.
But when it's like, well, why didn't they do this? Well, why I thought this would have been better if they did. Wait, what about like when it becomes that many in my head? I'm sorry, I can't enjoy the movie anymore. I wish I wasn't like that. So unfortunately, compared to Wreck-It Ralph and Winnie the Pooh, this is number 3. This falls behind
3.
Winnie the
Okay.
Pooh by quite a bit as well, guys.
Ooh.
Sorry,
All right.
this is way
Okay.
down there.
Well,
What do you
like
think,
my
TC?
Well, I'm going to give you a long-winded response. How's that sound?
Oh, okay. I would expect nothing less from this episode.
Okay. So this movie's not made for us, Jeff. Honestly, when it comes down to it, this movie wasn't made for us. And you might find this hard to believe. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I'm not a girl. I'm not
Really?
a sister. I'm not a sister. But I do feel a connection to the love between Anna and Elsa. I've felt that love before between my family, between some of my best friends, between you and me, Jeff. That's love that is beyond a romantic love is I totally feel that. And moreover, beyond the love of Anna and Elsa, I have a deep affection for this movie because of the journey of self-discovery that we are seeing in this revival era. The revival era heroes that need to change themselves and not wait for the world to change around them, right? I mean, even Elsa going so far as actually changing the world around her doesn't fix her. In the end, she needs to change who she is inside. Anna needs to change who she is inside as well. And I love that trend we're seeing with these heroes. There reaches a point in our lives that we need to stop considering how people have defined us, and we need to start defining ourselves. And that's a very adult thing that people struggle with their entire lives. And the more experiences you have, the older you get, it becomes a little easier to stop considering how people have defined you, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we can just look in the mirror and if not be happy, just be accepting of who we are and find our way towards happiness is wonderful. Elsa was told by very foolish parents that she was damaged, okay? And that society would never accept her, but that was wrong.
Right.
They locked her away and they locked Anna away because of Elsa, and that damaged her and damaged her emotionally, damaged them both emotionally and mentally. And they both needed to leave the castle to experience the world no matter how bad it got, to figure out on their own who they are. And I love that. One of the tweets I didn't hit was from obviously a Brave fan. Her name's Mirda. It's her hash or whatever. It's Mirda with a 1 for the I. Okay. Mirda. Some people are worth melting for, which Olaf says it. That's that the film. This film represents a familial love we haven't seen in this library. Tarzan showed paternal love, right? Timon and Pumbaa and Cusco and Pacha showed the closeness of friends. The closest we've gotten to familial love would be, of all things, Brother Bear. Which
True.
Like Denahi in Brother Bear is avenging the death of Sitka and seemingly the death of Kanye. What's his name? What's his?
Wow, what a great callback,
Whatever. The love of his brothers motivates him, right? Kanai. And we are being shown a different type of love, which it definitely throws people for a loop. That subverting of expectations, that true love is the red herring. That this movie teaches us to redefine love, or just re-perceive love as, and it's courtesy of Olaf, right? He says, I know what love is. Love is, Anna says, she's at the fireplace and she's freezing. She says, what does she say? Like, I don't know what love is anymore, or something like that. And Olaf says, oh, I do. It's putting someone else's needs before yours. And it's, Olaf proves his worth by being able to tell her that. And that's the theme of the movie, because it's not something that Anna and Elsa's parents ever did. They didn't put someone else's needs before theirs. They put their needs before their children by hiding them away out of fear and damaging both those sisters. And Anna chooses to rescue Elsa instead of going to Kristoff for that love's true kiss. She throws herself in front of Hans, dying. Her final act in life is to block that sword, and that is an act of true love. And that, Elsa even says, you sacrificed yourself for me, and Anna says, I love you. Like, it's the most obvious thing in the world. That's, some people are worth melting for. That's amazing. I for all that, I can see the fallacies in this movie. I can see the problems with the script. I can see the problems with some of the characters, but being analytical and being critical and looking at all those aspects, this movie is really, really good. And oversaturation ruined it. Playing that song too much ruined it. But in the grand scheme of things, this movie's so good. And I'm not putting it my number 1, but I am putting it my number 2. Wreck-It Ralph exceeds all expectations. But I'm putting this above Winnie the Pooh, and for all the reasons I just long-windedly stated. Thank you for indulging me. I'll be here all week.
I could not tell, and I'll be honest with you right now, TC. I could not tell if you were going to say all that and be like, so I put it at my number 6. Once we get other movies,
or was I going to say, and it's my number 1, and then everyone
yes.
shuts up.
And then no one listens to the last 3 episodes.
I can't say it's going to stay at number 2. I think in all 53 movies we've seen in this library, I don't think this would be in my top 10 necessarily. I'd really have to sit down and think about it to make that decision. But in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of right in this movie, and in particular, the fact that it speaks to that kind of love, this relationship between two sisters, which, again, the only time we've seen something like this has to be Brother Bear. Unless you can think of another example of between siblings. And I love that. And I love how much this movie means to other people. And it's like watch. I had seen how many times I've seen Jurassic Park? I don't know, but I remember seeing Jurassic Park with a friend who had never seen it before, just about 5-6 years ago. Right? How do you live that long and not see? And re-experiencing that movie through the eyes of someone who was just enamored by it. It's the same with Frozen. When I see little girls planted squarely in front of the TV, absorbing every moment of the movie. And when I see people discussing it, and like some of our listeners and some of the comments we've had of loving this movie, that makes me happy that a movie could affect someone so powerfully. Because I have movies that do that for me, and I'm sad that there are people in this world that don't have movies that do that for them.
Well, and it's good that I'm glad that everybody, or I would like to think that everybody does have a movie that does that for them, but
Yeah.
it is.
I always say
where it's not,
every movie ever made is someone's first movie and someone else's favorite movie. Every movie.
True.
So
Well, everybody, we
that's all I have to say about that.
as per usual, we have given you an episode that is at least the length of the movie
Of the
itself.
movie. Wait, I just thought of something. There's something I wanted to say real quick.
What?
There's a sequel coming. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
I would like to make a prediction on rewatching. We call this TC Damas. I'm gonna make a prophecy, okay? Because we have no indication of what the plot to this next movie is gonna be. Here are my predictions: Elsa loses her powers, Anna gets powers, and there's a female Olaf. I'm saying it on the record here. When I'm right, you all owe me things. There we go. Just putting it out there. That is gonna happen. That is those one if not all three of those things is gonna happen. If I throw in a fourth, other people with powers. There you go. That's the thing.
Now, real quick, since we're just making that prediction, is Anna's powers not? Are they going to be ice related, or are they going to be the opposite and be like fire or something like that?
She does have fiery red hair. It's not really
frozen
red.
hot.
It's not really frozen hot. Oh well. Anyway, so there you go. That's
Face
our...
off.
Oh god.
Sorry.
There you go.
All right, well, everybody, you heard it here. TC's prediction for Frozen 2. Frozen 2 comes out November 27th of 2019, as of at least the time of this podcast being recorded. So perhaps a year and a half from now, we'll do another episode for Frozen 2. And just tack that on. I guess for those of you in the future who are listening to this podcast, your present, our future, just look for episode 50, I think 58, 59, something like that, and see if we actually did that as our episode.
Was I right? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out in a year and a half with TC's prediction.
Nah, all right. But that's it.
Dang, we should have done that for Wreck-It Ralph, actually.
Oh, I don't have any predictions for Wreck-It Ralph other than I fear Emoji Movie will hurt this movie.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully not. Hopefully that's not the direction they go. But I digress. And with that, everybody, I think that is all we have for Frozen episode. TC, was there anything? Would you agree?
Nope, that's it. I've 7 pages of notes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all the comments again.
We did it. We did it, everybody. We got through it. Those of you on my side, we got through it. Those of you on TC's side, congrats for the notes.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of The Frozen. Next week, obviously, please come back and listen as we start to wrap up the last couple episodes here of the podcast. Only got 3 more to go. 3 more.
That's it.
It's getting kind of scary and sad at the same time. But next week, episode number 54 is 2014's Big Hero 6.
There you go.
So many numbers. So many numbers. Technically a Marvel movie, for those of you who are paying attention.
Yes. Yeah.
It is technically a Marvel movie because Big Hero 6 is a Marvel property. So kind of interesting. And so we're gonna take like a 180 shift here, going from princesses to superheroes, and we'll see. Let's see how how I've seen this next movie, but we'll see how fun this next one might be.
Yeah. So you can hit us up on Facebook.com/TopShelfPod. Every week before we start recording, we throw up the episode we're going to discuss. You guys can throw comments and questions at us. As you've seen today or heard today, we do utilize your comments very, very much so. And then come back on Wednesday when the episode hits the air and let us know what you think, whether it's disagreeing or letting us know we might have missed a point or would like us to elaborate on something. We love engaging in the conversation. So that's at Facebook.com/TopShelfPod, or you can tweet at me at TC's Big Head and at Jeff at Random Bell.
Woo!
Boom.
Boom, shaka boom, shaka shaka boom boom. So,
That's it.
Well, with that, everybody, that is it. Thanks, everybody, for listening again. We'll see you guys next week. And with that, TC, do your fun little sign-off.
This has been a podcast. We have been the people you've been listening to, and this is our sign-off.
Let it snow. Let it snow. Why wasn't it that? That would have been a perfect pun.
I don't know where you would get that as a good pun. It's not-
I know
how's it-
puns. Did you listen to the Home on the Range episode? I know what I'm doing. This has been a production of Ghost Hat Media, proud member of the Ghost Hat Network. Find them online at www.ghosthat.net.
I like the ending.